Hey y'all, welcome to this week's episode of the Throttle podcast. I'm your host, Earnest, here today with my co-host, Evan Sager.
Hello, y'all.
Got some kind of a speedy episode here, but let's get right into it. So, if we all remember, with Tony Stewart announced to drive the 25 free agent Ram truck for Kaulig at Daytona in the truck race, as if that wasn't crazy enough. How about Travis Pastrana in the 42 Nice Motorsports truck? So it's going to be very interesting. I say that, and they're going to, crash and end up in the catch fence or something.
Literally. First time Travis Pastrana has been in a top 3 NASCAR series since, 2023?
Yeah, in that...
Black Rifle Coffee,
yeah,
67.
2311 car. So, watch how they get into some scuffle at the end of that race fighting for the win, and then Ram puts it in a commercial or something. That would be a very Ram thing, but yeah. The number 88 O'Reilly Series car has its drivers and races announced for 2026. All 4 Hendrick Cup drivers will drive select races in that 88, along with Roger Carruth, who will drive most of the races in total, and also all the races in the Chase, as Cup regulars are prohibited from driving in Chase races in the lower series.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a couple extra Daytona 500 entries. We got the 62 with Anthony Alfredo and sponsored by Dude Wipes. And then Front Row will run a 4th car in the 500 for Chandler Smith in the 36. So right now it's looking like it's 8 open cars, I believe, fighting for 4 spots. And that's not including Jimmy Johnson in the 84, which he has that open exemption provisional already locked up. So, yeah. Xfinity, although they no longer sponsor the Xfinity series, it's now the O'Reilly series, but they will be the majority sponsor of Bubba Wallace and the 23 car this year, and they will also sponsor him in the 500, and they'll still sponsor Tyler Reddick in the 45, excuse me. Reddick will also have multiple races with a Comparison Insurance Agency as a primary sponsor, starting with Bristol on April 12th, and then also Bubba Wallace instead of McDonald's. Sad that McDonald's is gone now.
But Hardee's is back.
Yep, Hardee's is back. They will sponsor Bubba Wallace for multiple races, starting with Martinsville on March 29th, and then Hardee's also now becomes the official quick service restaurant, QSR, of NASCAR. I believe it's the first time since Checkers, 20 years ago.
2008.
Oh.
Also with the Tyler Reddick thing, I don't know if you noticed, but in the 2311 website, his Monster Energy sponsorship on his fire suit is gone.
Monster's gone? What?
Yeah.
I did not notice. I knew that, Leidos and McDonald's and Air Force were gone, but I didn't realize they were gone off of Reddick.
Yeah, but they're still going to sponsor Gibbs and Herbst.
Huh. Interesting.
I saw that on NASCAR Reddit the other day.
Interesting. So, yeah. Once again, back to the 500. Corey LaJoie, he'll run in a 4th car for RFK Racing as they bring back the 99 for the Daytona 500, and it'll be sponsored by Trimble. And then RFK as a whole, there are 4 cars for the Daytona 500, the 6, 17, 60, and 99, and colleagues number 16, they will all run a special number font based on Greg Biffle's old font that he used to run for the 500, and then all RFK cars throughout the whole season, they'll run a special Greg Biffle decal on the B post of their cars, and NASCAR themselves will have the infield grass at Bowman Gray Stadium for the Clash, assuming the Clash is run, because they're talking that it's going to be cold and snowy on the day of the Clash, but that's a different problem.
That's a problem down the road.
Yep. But the infield grass at Bowman Gray Stadium is also going to be painted with that Biffle decal as well, so great tributes to the Biff.
As long as the Clash gets run.
Be like Biff.
Be like Biff and run in the snow.
Yeah, okay. And then, kind of lastly, with this other stuff, this rumble jumble of stuff, the throwback weekend at Spring Darlington race, it's confirmed to be no more, which definitely sucks, and there's definitely better ways they could have gone about it. I don't know. Even if your sponsors don't cooperate, at least try and run a throwback, because at least running a throwback is better than no throwback at all. But now we don't have any throwbacks. And to be clear, teams can still run throwbacks, but NASCAR is no longer encouraging
Yeah,
them.
they're not like having as a kind of a requirement, but not really.
Yeah. To me, that was always the issue. Like, it was never, like, actually
It was never
required,
mandated.
which is what I wish it was. But now it's like the luster of Spring Darlington when they brought it back in 2021, like 5 years ago. It's gone now, basically. So, I mean, I think it really should be taken off the schedule at this point. Just leave it as the one Darlington race for the Southern 500, and then it brings up the point of, if they double down with Rockingham and put Cup back at Rockingham, do they put it on that date? Do they put it
Montreal?
Yeah, true. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Do they continue to have Rockingham on Easter? Like, I don't know. It's gonna be very interesting. And also, remember, Rockingham is now owned by IHRA. So how willing is NASCAR? How willing are they to work with them? I mean, they seem more willing to work with IHRA than NHRA was, because as soon as IHRA bought up Maple Grove, NHRA was like, no, 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 no. And then they rescheduled that first race of the countdown and put it at US 131 Motorsports Park in Michigan. And remember, NHRA, the second race of the countdown, is at Rockingham Dragway, right across the street from Rockingham Speedway. So, some very interesting things there. All right, getting into some. Now we got some new F1 team liveries. You had last Tuesday, the day after the last episode, because I put the one episode on Monday. But Audi released their scheme. It's definitely got like a lot more silver on it. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's
not bad.
It's not bad. Yeah.
It reminds me of the silver bullet a little bit, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. If you squint hard enough. So.
Yeah, if you see Gen 4 NASCAR, just picture that, but as an F1 car.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I wonder when my dad's gonna get me that silver bullet Sterling Marlin car lamp. Let's hang that up. Stay tuned for that.
Yeah, stay tuned for the picture.
Well, okay, maybe stay tuned for when I actually have a damn studio back. But we'll see. And then yesterday on Thursday, Mercedes released their scheme. It's
not bad.
It's not bad.
But it's not extraordinary.
I don't know. And then just today, Ferrari and Alpine both released their schemes. Ferrari, they definitely added some more white to the car. I also don't think it's that bad, but Alpine is just like, it's the same scheme from last year.
Yeah,
like,
they didn't really change
like
it.
That blue and the pink, it just doesn't mesh. So, yeah. And then, I mean, we now have 7 of the 11 teams who have released their liveries for this year. The 4 that haven't been released yet are Williams, which that won't be released until February 3rd, so a couple days after the Clash. And then Cadillac on February 8th in a commercial during the Super Bowl. It's about to be one of the only reasons why I watch the Super Bowl. So, yeah. And then McLaren and Aston Martin will both have theirs released on February 9th. And then also Aston Martin, they just recently announced a new partnership with Honda as they will produce the power units for them. So, definitely a lot of new involvement in F1 with Honda and Ford and Audi and Cadillac, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm still definitely learning quite a bit about F1. But
yeah, it's still ticking time bomb.
Sure. Okay. And then getting into the Rolex 24, there's definitely a lot of NASCAR and IndyCar drivers that are making the start this weekend at Daytona in the Rolex 24, including Alex Palou, who of course is the 4-time and 3-time defending IndyCar champion and the defending winner of the Indy 500. Scott Dixon, who already has 3 overall wins in the Rolex 24. And then other names like Will Power, Kyle Kirkwood, Marcus Harrison, Scott McLaughlin, Christian Rasmussen, all for IndyCar. And then Connor Zilisch in NASCAR making another Rolex 24 start. He, in his debut 2 years ago, he won a LMP2 class victory. And then AJ Allmendinger, who won overall at the Rolex in 2012. And then Colton Herta, who used to be in IndyCar, but just this year switched over to F1 to be Cadillac's reserve driver for them as well. So, among other drivers and other old F1 drivers and stuff. But yeah, that's just a few of the highlights there. But to kind of wrap this short episode up, I want to talk about some of the 2026 NASCAR schemes, specifically Cup, that we both really liked. I mean, this is confirmed schemes that are going to run, so sorry, Hardys. I'm willing to bet your scheme is going to be very nice when you actually show us what it is. But this is just confirmed stuff. I really like Chastain's Busch scheme for this year, just the nice silver accents. They really look good. And then Briscoe with that Freebird water scheme.
That was pretty nice.
Yeah. It's got that nice, the red accents and stuff, but like it's predominantly a white base, but even though normally like with a white base, like on Byron's HP scheme, whatever that is, like normally when you have a white base, it's just bland, but something about Briscoe's just works.
Yeah.
And then the Build Submarine schemes, they switched it up from a white base to a black base.
Which works out much better.
Yeah. It honestly looks more like a submarine anyways.
Yeah.
And then Josh Berry's Aero scheme. I mean, it looks like you can connect to the Wi-Fi off the thing. It looks like a Wi-Fi router racing around the track. Dare I say faster than Xfinity 5G? I don't know. Maybe. But, yeah. And then Byron, although his HP scheme is pretty garbage, that Form Energy scheme is pretty dang good. I mean, it definitely looks very American. It looks like something that I would smash at a tailgate.
Yes.
For energy. And then I find this very interesting. I don't know if they're going to copy over what Chumba Casino did for Reddick's car. I don't know if they're going to copy that over to Bubba and Riley Herbst. But Reddick's in particular, it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. And I also liked last year's a lot, despite mixed reactions, because honestly a lot of people
didn't like that.
But
I was one of the people that was not a fan. I wasn't a fan of the scheme, don't get me wrong. It was okay. It was not great, but it wasn't my favorite scheme of all time.
I just feel like Chumba Casino, like with Reddick's scheme in particular, it's nice that there's a lot of red, but yeah, so we'll see what the rest of the Chumba Casino schemes look like. I wouldn't be surprised like for Herbst and Bubba if they do like Herbst like a green one and
Bubba a purple one.
Yeah, or like a yellowish one. But honestly, Chumba Casino, if you look at their logo, their letters are like a rainbow, and that's what they conveyed on the cars.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
So I mean, I would say it gives the sponsor a lot more flexibility what to do with their cars.
True.
What colors they want and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And on the subject of Herbst, I really hope they bring back that Lucy Breaker scheme.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
I like to look at that. So, yeah. Please consume those responsibly.
Yes.
And any alcoholic beverages or nicotine, anything, adult anything, consume responsibly.
Yes. Be of 21 of age.
Yes. So, and then I really like both the Red Bull schemes. Just small changes. You got like with SVGs, it's got like that little red accent on the door, and Zildjian has that blue accent. I really like that. And picking back off of that with Zildjian, I really like that Roto-Rooter scheme too.
Yeah, that one's pretty nice.
It was clean, with with when it was in the Xfinity now O'Reilly series, but now it's like they almost made it 3D in a way. Like it just has a lot more sharp angles in terms of the paint scheme and the colors and the design. So yeah. But yeah, that's all we got for this week's episode of the Throttle to the Floor podcast. Speedy Gonzalez episode, depending on who you ask. Or you could just say this episode was a very Throttle to the Floor episode. No pun intended.
Knee slapper right there, buckaroo.
Okay. Yeah. Haley, you're going to have to let me know how that dad joke was. But yeah, that's all we got for this week's episode of the Throttle podcast. Make sure you tune in on, listen and download on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Check out the Chill Photography and Throttle podcast Instagrams and TikToks. And yeah, we'll see y'all.
We'll see y'all next Monday or Friday.
Monday, Friday, Tuesday, a day. Sometime next week. Sometime next week we'll talk Rolex. We'll talk finally Clash preview, season preview. Thank God.
It's finally happening. As
Yeah.
long as it doesn't snow.
Yeah, so
that'll be kind of crazy for NASCAR race in the snow.
Yeah, but yeah. So if you like longer episodes, next week is definitely for you.
Yes.
But that's all we got for this week's episode of the Throttle podcast, and we'll see y'all next week.
Have a good night, y'all.